Okay. This is going to be in real time, I guess. But I'm going I've shown, some clips of this. They had different wheels or whatever. And in real time, I'm going to build some different front suspension. I'll show you why. I'll tell you why. And like it is what it's going to be. Or whatever we're going to see, we're both going to see in real time. Um, I'm going to build it after this. But I was testing something like this to see if I would like it to be up here. Because with this arm right now, the way it curves up and down, if it was following just underneath this, obviously the bar there that runs up through it would be curving that way as well. And the spring was designed, that's why I left this one down here. The spring is designed to scale up and down along this, and you'll see this in play mode in a second. And so, like, I couldn't just put it underneath like it was welded to this piece. That's why even in Blender, I didn't weld this piece to this like you would in real life, because what this doesn't have is a joint here that would allow this any sort of rotation on the inside of it. So it would be moving in a weird way. Okay. Now, the only problem that really happened visually with when they were like this setting on top of this plate was they either go down a little bit too far or they come up a little too far. So there's those two things that I just visually, it was unacceptable for me. And me building this, I get full range of say and control of all of this. All right. So technically I'm in play mode right now, but I'm not in game mode. What did happen to my game mode scene? Game mode? We want this one maximized. Okay. So now I can drive it forward and we can see how this is going to move right here. And I didn't like it. So I had ran some clamps and stuff trying to get it, and I can get it very close to moving when it's supposed to. But it's always going to either overshoot just a little bit, or you see how it's going out sideways through here too much. And the reason why I just tried to set it up here is for the rears, since I built the bone sus back here, just a custom thing. These work flawlessly. Like, they go down and over things and they scale kind of like I did on my blue well, where it doesn't have that bottom piece that's in the way. The springs on the front there are kind of okay. I mean, the problem I thought I was going to have was these orange bars that are rotating. Now, I'll tell you something I haven't fixed yet. The material on this side is fabric, bloody fabric, and this one is my bloody metal. So, I don't remember, oh gosh, my camera isn't in the right spot. I don't remember doing that, but I did. Or I applied it on here and I haven't fixed it yet. It's an easy freaking thing of just applying the other material. But just in case you were looking at it as I was driving it, like, bro, that looks a bit jank. So getting these arms moving up and down in sync with everything else was a bit tricky, because the way they're moving and the way they're supposed to be following this right here, I wanted this to have movement. What this front piece is actually missing is there originally was a cylinder that ran from up here to down here. And the one on the back is still here because I ran it up to the bone sus. The other thing is, even when I'm using my all-wheel steering, like, see, the springs are still fine on the back. They're still going to be fine. Like, there's nothing that's going to mess that up. So that is going to be perfectly fine and safe. I don't have my lights hooked up. I don't have the lights and the rims hooked up or anything. I know you probably look at those cool things like, oh, it's got some nice things going on there. Yeah, well, it's not good at all if my front suspension looks like this, and it's unacceptable. So we're going to dive in. I don't know if I can get it done within an hour, but I will cut it down, because I got to figure out what the plan is. And then once I design it out, boom, we just see the effect there. But I'm going to do it right now. And I thought, you know what, let me just record something, because I wanted you to see what it looks like before. It obviously looks normal, And my new plan for it looks a bit different. I can tell you what I've decided, like what I'm thinking, because I think it's interesting. Get out of the maximize view again so I can freaking move around the scene, bro. Oh, back to scene view. My plan is, so since these top bars curl up and down when they go, I'm going to curl a plate that curves around and goes inside here. So I'm going to remove this wall here on both sides. And I'm going to build something that curves. Now I'm thinking about also putting either spaced apart little springs. We'll figure out that soon. Or if I'm going to curve a spring around into it, just to give it like another just different look. I mean, everyone's seen an ATV, and I mean, I don't. There's probably some games that have ATVs in them, and I'm sure they're amazing. And that's why, like, for my first one here, it can't look jank. I gotta like do this as good as I want my overall game to be for myself and for everyone to enjoy when this thing comes out. So no pressure. I'm gonna try to start and finish this within a year and release it. We will see if that happens. I'm not gonna go overboard with things, but certain things are unquestionable of this is going to have this type thing. And this four-wheeler is one of them. It's going to have that. Something like that. Like when I first seen this rear bone suspension, when I was first making it, I said, man, this kind of looks super simple. I don't know if it's very impressive. It looks different, but you know what? It's functional visually. And when you're playing the game, bro, you would look at it like this in third person, but if you're in first person, which like I said, my camera is not in the right spot for first person. I never adjusted it, apparently. Oh yeah, also fix this, but they're all showing right now, and they won't be. They won't all be showing. I just haven't gotten the script part of that yet because I've been working out the script part of my I'm too far back. Front suspension up there. And things like this, that's not necessary. Getting this thing drivable, is obviously the first one of the first things you really want to do. To see how it's going to move around in even a little test environment. And boy, does that plane look like something it's not. It kind of looked like there's like bloody fog looking around here, but that's not what it is. What it actually is this texture. I just put it on this giant plane. And when you're down there close, you don't even see it like that. Actually, it's the carbon. It's the blood carbon I made. Mm-hmm. The blood carbon is on this bottom. So this is actually, from a distance, you think it just looks like regular carbon fiber, which is perfectly fine. It's supposed to. Just like this is supposed to look beautiful orange look. And I have a scene where you can see it. Also, there's no sound effects on the four-wheeler yet. It doesn't need it. It needs to work first. It will have that once it's in a passable state. And right now, it is not there. Also, I don't know if any suspension exists the way I'm about to build this one on this thing. And I hope it doesn't, because I like having unique things on something. Regardless, it doesn't exist on a four-wheeler, and especially not the Zambone. So, I think I can run around my test scene here. I think this is working. You're working, right? Yeah. Maximize this. Oh, look who it is, bro. I mean, it's a look-alike, but come on. I swear, though, if you start popping into my test scenes in the future, saying some shit, off with the head. There's only one custom zombie that I've done so far, and it's this guy. The Texas one that you may have seen a clip of. I don't think I shared it on YouTube. I think that was like on Facebook and stuff like that. He is, representing. He's got the crocodiddle doos on there, bro. with the spurs on the back. Yeah, he got them boot Crocs on there. That. Anyway, we came in here to look at. So this is what that four-wheeler looks like right now. And the original that I had of it is this, where it was not bloody. And these are the regular tires it had. So you can see this one's much cleaner from blood and things like that. Even the rear, there was something custom for the springs that I just wanted to see what it looked like. And it looks more real, right? Like something you would see in the showroom floor. And this looks a little bit my style of like, I don't want it to look too real, but I don't want it to look cheap. So like, I want it to fit the lore of what this is going to be. And this isn't going to be a typical, there's another zombie game type thing. Zombies will be in this world. That is not it, though. Let's see. What was I coming in here to look at, though? The way this one looks, is that what it was? Is that what I wanted to see? These guns distracted me. I don't have any of the fire effects on there yet, but I do have them. I have so many high quality effects that I can apply on this stuff. Kind of good to go though, you know. These are right out of the box. These were, but you know, I'm gonna have some custom weapons. These are just idols right now for these people. And I came in here to remind myself of what I. Oh wow, I was gonna mount it down there on the bottom one before. That actually makes more sense. Huh. But it's not what I'm going to do. And the rears, they were never going to be too impressive. You weren't even going to see them. Oh yeah, these were the stock mufflers. And then these custom ones that I built on here, can't even see them in here because of the lighting. Yeah, I forgot. I don't even think y'all have seen this guy yet. We'll talk more about these people and stuff later on. These are just from the zombie pack, so I had an idea of what to look for. He technically was one of them, but you know, I put my own eyes in him, put him some gold teeth in, and gave him the state flag on the tank top. Was going to do for all the other states. These were going to be special zombies, and technically the Zambone is his vehicle. He's gonna, when you first encounter him, he's gonna pull a wheelie and rev his engine and come after you, bro. And then you gotta run for your life. Or maybe he's running for his life because, like I said, this isn't just like a little zombie game. There's gonna be so many things. Oh, so many things. But not if I don't start building, okay? Gonna look at this a second. Have I added a curve yet? I don't think I have. Okay, what I did though, like I said, is I muted this for a minute. So I can see here. Now, I want to give a disclaimer on how I build things compared to if you've seen any 3D modeler, most 3D models, modelers that have done YouTube videos probably, and maybe some that just do models. I follow zero blueprints when I build my stuff. That's how I keep it unique. It's not a predetermined thing. It's not a prefab thing. It's not something I'm tracing a line for. I literally build it like this is a canvas that I'm working with. And you know, that's the only way I do my stuff. So if you thought I was going to lay something out here and you're going to be like, oh, let's see how he follows that. That's not what I'm doing. It's going to be raw And I have to say that so that nobody's confused on there's no training wheels. So this can literally go super terrible, super quick, or it could be decent enough. One thing though, I can't really see. Also, don't put lights in my scenes. I just use whatever Blender has. That's fine enough for me. I'm not gonna sit here and spend time building a background and scene when that's not my goal. My goal is to get this thing to the game as quick as possible, or the game engine, getting it to the game engine and getting it working. I think I'm getting sick too. I'll tell you this: it's best to do this if you're not sick, and it's best to do this on more than 2 hours of sleep. Okay, just so you know. All right, I think what I'll do is hide this. I don't even want to see it. I mean, I kind of wanted to see the bottom to have just a reference of where I previously had this thing at. I'm debating on using this. I don't like the way this block looks. It literally looks like I stuffed a block in here that doesn't go here, because that's exactly what I did. I don't like that. And I'm pretty sure I'm just going to remove it. I think it would look better attached to the plate here on the end, built off of this piece. It looks like it could have something there anyway. And as far as the cylinder thing goes, man, I need to remember to put that back. uh, hold on, can I still use that piece? When did I scale this weird though? Also, let me tell you this. I don't normally talk out loud when I'm doing builds. I guess it's in my mind that I'm recording a video, so trying to talk as I do it a little bit. It's fine. It's fine, man. It's fine. I didn't want to like take away from me building this game and my project. But the other games that I've talked about don't have anything to do with this project. This is a new, fresh one that I can finish, I believe, within a year for what it's going to be. And it will help fund my bigger games that I need more tech that I don't own, is what I need to do some even more interesting stuff. So I can't just make a game that's going to try to make a buck. It's got to actually be something very interesting in its own way and fun, because I can't release a game that sucks and then people are never going to buy any of my other games. Like, why would you do that for your business design? You know, it's not what I'm going to do. I am going to try my best to make something very playable, and I can build cool things like this and don't have to get so complex with things like I end up doing. But everything I end up doing does look a little bit like, holy how'd you do that? And that's me talking. That's me saying, how do you even? Yeah, I would like a little clamp here. What I'll do is I'll just add a cylinder, make it look like a clamp. I was just going to add a curve and do it that way. It doesn't matter. I don't think. We'll see. It may matter. I was going to try to make, some of those gaming videos again, but I don't have a lot of time to do that. And I would much rather be working on my game, but I wanted people to know that I'm still alive and still doing things. And I thought, what better way with this? I can just take y'all right here directly behind the scenes in real time and watch me try to come up with something. I don't know why the lag thing happens. Maybe it's because I'm recording. Oh, you know what? It's because I'm recording at such a high quality. I probably don't even need to be for this because I'm not even moving around fast. Let me tell you why the close-up detail doesn't matter on this, even though I'm trying to get it to look like it's something. Also, notice that I'm freehanding. I'm not like snapping to a grid or whatever for this, other than I snapped to originally where I wanted it in that area. The reason why the close up doesn't matter for this is because when you're actually driving the four wheeler, even in third person, your camera at most would swing around at like this height or maybe down about even with it, but at a reasonable distance. You're never going to be right up there on it. But even so, I want you can at least see that chrome piece. Now, this would be much more exposed in the game world. You'd also have your tires rolling and everything like that. And I just feel like if you saw it was a piece that was stuck there and it looked like nothing was holding it, at least for me, bro, I pay attention to that kind of detail myself. And so that's why I'm like, man, it doesn't even look like anything's holding it on. Here's the logic behind this. There's a metal rod that comes up here and sticks on around this clamp. This clamp would be something that typically would probably have a tightener right here and squeeze that down together, but I'm not doing that. I'll be honest, that's a trick that I wish I would have learned at a much younger age on how to do resetting my diaphragm so quickly. I used to be stuck with the hiccups for so long, and now I can get rid of them in like 2 seconds. I gotta be careful with my moving around because I know because I'm recording now, it's pulling my performance down. That was something I didn't realize was going to happen, but it makes total sense. Not like I'm building a super low poly thing here. This is up there with the nice things, I suppose. I'll tell you my plan. I would think it would be cool to see this fold around like right there and back or curve around. And I imagine some holes in it, maybe a cool text on it or something. But I don't like how rounded this looks. However, I do know it needs to be thick, or it at least needs to be plate like this that I can extrude out and give it flat faces once I have my curve the way I want it. By the way, though, I know people probably don't want to see me do the whole process, so like I said, I will skip to it being, further along if I have to or whatever happens. But it's not because I'm like sitting here trying to think of what the plan is. I've kind of already said how I want, like what I plan on doing with it. I know what it is that I don't like about this, and it's because my vision has this flat piece facing me and not over here. That's okay. What I can still do with this is get my idea. I may want to bend that in a little bit. Curve around. So the idea is have a curve like this, and when this arm comes up, this curve kind of goes around, but that's not going to really happen. What's going to happen is, what's going to happen is this whole thing is going to go up and over at an angle. Yeah. But if I built this coming off of this, also I didn't rig this because it was too much, man. This four wheeler, for whatever reason, has more complex freaking things working on it than the Blue Whale did, and the Blue Whale had 8 freaking wheels on it. But there was like there's things for each of these brakes. There was things for each of the tires. There were things for each of the top and bottom on each side, and the same with the rear. Because I'm not folding the pivot there. It's actually this is a movable arm. This is a movable arm. This one is a movable for the drive thing. No, it's not gonna look like that. But this flat part here with maybe some holes in it to look more machine like these pieces would be the idea of how I would curve that around. And to test it, I would click this arm. I would have it as a child of it. Because what I would like to do is build something where, since I already have my arm working, it already goes with the suspension. Build something off of this that curls around to it, and then I don't even have to do any kind of script animations for these script scalings or anything like that, because this arm is already taking care of that. and it just goes in, and it could go into a secret thing to like where I hide it and there's just the cutout that fits in, or I could show it. I mean, regardless, I think the idea that I have for this interesting piece is going to be more interesting than this. Definitely going to look better without that ugly block that was never going to look right. That's the difference I've noticed right off the bat is I don't normally talk about stuff. I do it. And then I'm like, okay, let me try something else if I don't like the way it looks. There's a material that I always go to for clearer visual, and it's Crizzy. Keep them busy. We give it a bit of bevel so that it looks more machine-like too. Just on the ends. Can't even tell. Where I can see you. Hey, you're cool. But I'll do a bolt. Yeah, I like you. I like you. You're going to do something bolt that you weren't knowing you were going to be used for. Okay? Just stay in the center there. Sometimes if I do it right, I can even put a color on this bolt and it will engrave that color into it. I get it close enough, bro. Nobody's going to see it. They'll see one end. I doubt they'll see the other. The goal is that so that this thing is got it going on both sides. Okay. Now I'm going to name this. This is what I normally name this is cutter. Because the cutter is something I delete anyway. It down there. That piece is going to be at the back, bro. And it's fine. That's where the tool has been on that thing before. And took some of the beautiful paint off of it. It's fine. It doesn't look so plain. Okay. Now you just go over to where I brought you from. Oh wait, I forgot. I put the cursor back over here. Get it back over here where I need it. Actually, I don't even think it matters where you currently are. But I will put you in the center of this. And I will rotate you 90 degrees. But not in that direction. On this axis. So this, we want to put an array curve in that order. Wrong object, bro. Wrong object. I really don't know how many you need for what I want. I don't have a way to really test it. But this is what I was talking about when I was talking about I can make it look mechanical where it looks like little beams going around. I'm trying to eyeball this. Then it's never going to be perfect. I'm hoping it will help me decide what I need to do. See that reaching to about right there is pretty good. I haven't even shrunk it down yet. But the thing is, this arm would go down even more. I don't know if it would ever go that much angled down. I need to go in Unity and see just about how far that arm is going to go down right now on that vehicle. Like, I know it's never going to go and touch that sphere, but that sphere is so much lower than you think it is. So that doesn't give me a clue. And like I said, this moves up and down too. So that's kind of, boy, what a trick. Also, I do not like it shielded. I like the shield thing for up here and for them to go up into it, but currently didn't like how that looked either. The best thing to take is a cylinder, chop it in half, and then you got an even half. And then that half, you can easily shape it without it ever being wrong. Pretty much. This is a curve that was turned into, no, this was a box that got turned into this. And while it kind of works for going up in there and things like that, there's too much out here that I would like. So I would remove that down. I don't know how much shield I need out here though, because like I said, that thing was too short when it folds down. Maybe leaving that much would be enough. How am I going to test it? Just in real time, seeing how far it goes. Also, I've never done anything in URP. I always use HDRP, but this current game I'm building in in URP, and it does not look bad. It looks just about like the other scene does. I don't even have like all the ray tracing stuff on and everything. It's just so with my collisions, if I use my wheel system, it will not do this kind of thing where it pokes through the block. But that also means my suspension is going to work differently as well. So, oh, and another thing is my suspension could get over this. This one, these wheel colliders struggle. The other thing about the wheel colliders is they pop up and down. So they go about even, like for up. I don't know if they ever go higher than that. But that is good to know for at least even. I think that's their bottom out. Also, I don't like how wheel colliders pop. I don't know why they didn't design a release mechanism on them that had smoothing when they carved it out. But see, I need to drive you off of this, but I need you to land on your wheels so that I can see how much of your suspension collapses, bro. I don't think it ever goes beyond flattening all the way out, which is great. The thing is, the world I'm going to build out, it could have a number of things that these foilers are going to go through. And with wheel colliders, I'd be limited on building like complex things like this. Like if this was a river with a bunch of rocks to it or something that has a bunch of up and down bumps. Obviously, I haven't shown this, but this vehicle is already ready to drive through the water. It has buoyancy on the wheels, and I have that in a those collisions are extended out here. I have those, or that is on the other four-wheeler, but on this script. No, it's on this script, right? Hold on, let me actually see. Let's see if I'm lying to you, bro. Yes, buoyancy. So in the Unity test scene, I threw it in that, and then I set the water level because at first it was floating right there where it was on top of the ground. So I had to lower it down to that. That would obviously need to be changed and worked out, but it was just to test it and see how it handled in the water, and it was believable. If you've ever driven a four-wheeler through the water and stuff and it does its thing, yeah, it had all that. It just didn't have the cool water effects or anything like that, but I mean, come on, bro. It's my first time. And also, I mean, if it was more finalized, then yeah, I could throw some effects like that on it if I have time. But letting you be able to do it is good enough, right? For a start. Okay, so you go about level is very good to know. Let me open that blender back up, bruh. So what I'll do for this arm, it has 0 rotation, so this is easy to zero back out. About 10 degrees, would you say? Because it kind of gives it a little bit of maybe even higher, like 0.2 degrees higher. I don't even think I've seen it have any kind of bend upwards. But to be safe, I could go to 12. I could say this is my extension right here, and we'll just group it to this like it is, and this will tell me how many links I need to take out. 12. Now I don't have a definite number for the other direction, but as long as I get enough of it curving around, look at that sticking out the top the way it's curving, but it's fine. I Man, I think that's long enough to pass. I think I think this works. I'm not liking the color being so it stands out so much. But would a metal sleeve like this in real life? Absolutely. It could also just be black, so it looks like that. You can obviously see though, you'd be like, there's nothing that thing's going into. I could have left the face on there like I was going to do, like I said, the mailbox thing, to where you don't see so much in there. Could still do that. Your color is wrong, bro. Your color. Ah, gosh. Now do you look like you were made to always be like that? I mean, on this machine, kind of. And we can say that's kind of like a bone type thing. Because, I mean, uh, the back kind of looks like a bone kind of suspension by design, is what I was trying to do, bro. And I didn't want it to look too good, but I didn't want it to look too crappy. So this is what it came out to look like. But it passes for bone suspension. The little X's here with the cylinders and the spheres kind of really helped. I didn't do any pointy things on the front though. So that's why this kind of like has these little nipples here that come out, and the front does not have anything like that. No spikes. It's okay. I thought I was going to do a bumper type thing or something, but then I was like, no, this doesn't need that. I wanted it to look sporty and work mode all at the same time. So it's like the work one that was turned to look more sporty, it just got splattered with blood. Um I guess the zombie guy built this thing for fun. I don't know. Like, would be how the lore of the game would be. Like, this is his rig. That I guess if you take him out, you get to have, and you also get that cool state flag of Texas. It's pretty cool. So that's fun. Um, and I do have it where it doesn't have the blood on the paint, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it like this. Seems like a signature rig. Would it make sense that you ever clean it and it doesn't look all bloody? I could make it a thing because, like I said, I have the other material, but I don't know, man. We'll see how my brain thinks once I actually start building an environment part of it. But the first thing for this one, I wanted to get done right out the gate so that, because this is the hardest stuff. Scripting with all this and everything, throwing a building in and throwing some terrain down, is nothing to that. Not compared to this. So, I already have the weapons firing. We already have some zombie stuff. I'm pretty much good to go on that end so far. Hmm. I'm just looking at it now to see if um wasn't sure if I was even recording anymore. That would have been crazy. So yeah, that arm is never going to go up that far to where that thing would be poking out through there. It literally should never even go up that far. And like I said, I can clamp it just in case, but I'm pretty sure I could drop it off of a cliff and it would and drop it down and it hit as hard as it can. And these arms would never go up that far. In real life, they may. I mean, you're going to break some shit in real life. But in the game, I got full control over no matter the force that it came down with. This is as far as this thing is going to go, bro. Okay? Your tires are going to go through the ground or something before that thing ever comes up. And if a tire's going through the ground, then what would it matter if this thing is even just connected or not? You know? I think, though, it's solid enough. Pretty solid thing. Right now, they're just tack welded on there, though. I need to look at it and see if I want to build a clamp for this or if it's fine like that. I think it's kind of fine. It looks like it's built into that. Like, I don't need to put any other ugly things on it. It's always going to move with this arm, you know? These are all going to move when this moves up and down, just like they already do. All that stuff is already hooked up. The only thing that I wasn't liking was the top spring things. They looked good, but that thing was sticking through that plate, and that plate looked ugly. Like, I think that was the main thing. The plate was just so ugly. I don't know if I'm going to make use of the winch, but I did separate this out just in case. So I do have the cable and the hook ready to go. You know, we could use that. Maybe. I don't know if we'll need it. I don't know, man. We might need it and not have it, but we will have it and hopefully not need it. What looks better? Suspension wise on the front. Was it this weird thing or these? I don't know. I'm not convinced that mine is better, but it's here. I'm going to use it. It doesn't take that long to apply materials, so I'm gonna do that real quick and then come back. So I went ahead and I think I added all the textures. I kind of got distracted for a little bit and was like, let me see if I can get my lights working. Let me see if I can get something on the dash there. The dash still not official of what I would like it to be, but it works for now for my testing. So that's kind of good. Now, for the moment of truth, I would say we're out of fuel, bro. Nothing happened, okay? Damn. You build a new rig and it doesn't start first try? Come on now. That is not how that's supposed to turn off. I'll need to get a different kill engine. Man, I tried to have all of this ready to go before I started recording. And I still... You can tell I didn't test it yet. If I did, I obviously wouldn't be doing all this. Still, it was a lot of script, bro. I mean, lots of scripts. This thing is more complex, I would say, than a lot of things that I've built to date. And what's insane about that is this is the smallest vehicle I've built to date. Like, it's a four-wheeler. It's tiny. But it is doing a lot. I guess. At least the code thinks so. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the lights don't come on like when it's not running, right? Well, the blinkers do. Yeah, they can come on when it's not running. Why are those glowing? That should not be the same texture. That's not even the same material. Oh, but you know what? I'm telling my brakes mesh to glow, so that makes those glow. That doesn't make sense. It's not even making the freaking ring light glow. It's only making those glow and not that doesn't. It's fine. I mean, it's not fine. I'm gonna have to fix it, but for now, bro, let's just freaking see if this thing can drive. Oh my. I swear, man. At least I know the fuel. It won't start when it's out of fuel. That's something. It's hard to talk over that loud ass exhaust. I need to turn it down. It's fine. Is it number 2? Number 3. It's number 3. Number 3 is my brakes. See, this is why I wish I could see this freaking font. And I mean, I could, if I was going to keep it like this, I would have it where the player could adjust. Obviously, I would want that myself. Not that one. I would have it where you could adjust, like how I did my mirrors. They would be more electronic than this. It would be smoothing out. Where you could, or you could click a button and you can zoom in to see it up close. I mean, it is kind of hard to see the thing though. Okay, number 3 on my numpad is my brake modes. So we have front brakes, rear brakes, or all brakes. And I linked that to each of the pedal things because I thought that would be a unique thing to do. One is my drive modes. Leave that in rear-wheel drive. What changes the steer mode? 0. Okay. But the first thing we're going to check out is the suspension on the front here. See if it visually looks okay, because that was the whole point of this. I just did a lot. Down for a second. Now, I worked on this thing hoping that it would be able to pull a wheelie and be like, oh, look at that. Because I wanted to do it without just giving it a tremendous amount of power. And the way it's supposed to activate is, let me get my front brake. So you hold your front brake, and you probably need to be in low gear because it has the lower torque. It doesn't pull a wheelie in low right now. But you're supposed to hold the brake and the throttle, get the wheels spinning, and then let it go. And it'll pull it up. Forgot to put a turbo on this thing. Why does it sound so quiet though? Oh. You activate in them higher revs. That makes sense because I gotta spool you up. That's kind of cool. Now I can hear you whistling. So yeah, it has the low and the high, and then it has the normal drive. Now right now it goes a lot faster than it probably needs to. But in the open world, like right here, an open plane, it's fine. I need to drain the fuel down so that I can see if when it runs out of fuel, it's not going to do anything crazy like keep going or anything like that. I'm noticing only the high gear as the kind of engine brake with it though. Drive didn't really have it, did it? If it does, it's hard to tell. Low doesn't really have it, but it needs it. Yeah. I didn't spend an eternity on tuning or getting a very proper transmission, but for what it is, it's kind of passable for what its real life thing would kind of be. Try out my steering modes, bro. It's the rear steer right there. I'm hoping it says rear down there. I think I see rear. There's all steering. Oh, my rings are going backwards. I need to turn them. They got confused. They're going the wrong direction. An easy fix though, bro. They're fine on the other one. Is that the crab? It is the crab. Oh, the horns are blinking. You know what that means? I wasn't sure if that was going to work. It means we're getting low on fuel. That's the fuel light for now. You know? That's kind of... I wasn't sure if that was going to actually work or not. The reason why I have the fallback font thing is because of the font I'm using on that fuel. It's using something, and I probably didn't activate the special symbols. Most likely didn't. And so it's trying to use something that it can't show. Anyway, this thing's almost out of fuel, so... Let's see if this thing's gonna cut off. Yeah. I think I need to change is that that kill engine thing. Okay, and make sure it doesn't start. Also need to turn that audio way down for that start, because when it has fuel, the other one is not that loud. But you know, I threw it together. Literally threw it together, man. Yeah, that one needs to be turned down too, that start thing. Are you in reverse? Why are you rolling? You should not be moving. You're in high gear. You roll in neutral? Hit the brake. At first, it had a parking brake, and I decided against it because the whole thing where I had that on the Bel Air, I was like, yeah, I don't think I want a parking brake on this thing for its little test thing. But it drives, and the front sus there is pretty interesting. It would pull a wheelie. If I did some tuning on this thing, it would do it. It would do it without having the special button, but I felt like depending on what it's going to be driving around and through, you may not just want to be able to tap the gas and pull a wheelie at any time. At the same time, you kind of do, but I could see how it'd get annoying, you know. The other thing I got to decide on is if I'm going to keep wheel colliders on it like it has, where it can just kind of fall through things and not really drive too well across stuff, or if I'm going to put my wheel system on it. We're in low? Oh gosh. We're in low gear and this thing is just wheels through it. Wheels through the thing. All-wheel drive? Oh, we're in front-wheel drive? I wonder why we wasn't doing nothing. We were in front-wheel drive that whole time. Yeah, those things don't look too bad, man. Yeah, I think it's fine. But yeah, let me turn those headlights off so my things aren't glowing. So yeah, need to fix my low beams. Need to fix the rear steering brakes on this steer mode. They go backwards for whatever reason. The other ones are fine. It's just one of them that is... Oh, my reverse lights work there. I didn't light up these here. I could have. Ah, that's... Man, when you build something and you take so much time getting all of it working the way you know, want it, for the most part, you just kind of want to drive it a little bit. But yeah, I'm pretty sure those arms aren't going to go up any higher, which, you know, that was the one thing I was kind of worried about. To driving it. I think you would use the steering mode if you're going to like go through some, you know, rough terrain, or if you just want to have fun. Try to get it on something that really works them arms there. Yeah, these things ain't in sync. I can see that bar down there and these going up. I figured they wouldn't be. I didn't know I didn't re-mess with them at all. It's using what it was using on that other four-wheeler. What are you, in drive? Oh, you're in high? Okay. And you know what it needs? When it's sitting here idling, it needs the turbo to spool up to where you hear it back here. You know? Do the things even turn though? Oh, they do. I'm wondering if these sphere things turn to steer the wheel. It's supposed to. They do. I mean, they're trying to stay lined up with it. They're trying. They need a little bit more rotation, it looks like. And we're steering on our custom pivots, you know. More realistic. No tire turns on itself. Like, I don't know why wheel colliders do that, but they don't do that in my rides. I build a custom pivot, just like you would have. Because no tire turns dead center on itself. That's why you can feel, like, I can feel this kind of wider steer with it too. It's subtle, but it definitely, you can tell. I can tell. If you're cruising around like this though, it seems like you can get decent fuel mileage, but it will definitely pull that gas down when you're on it. And that throttle. I don't know if I want this thing to rotate more, the throttle handle. Looks like it needs to, just a little bit, you know? Oh yeah, I didn't check my handles though to see if they switched. So there's the front brake. That would be the back brake. One reverse, bro. This should be the foot one. This should be all the wheels. I think. Did it change? No, it didn't change. This, I hit the wrong key. There we go. Now, this normally is your back brakes that locks up. It doesn't lock all four of them up, but on this rig, it does. So I have back brake, front brake, all brake, all brake, all wheel brakes, you know? Keep turning those stupid headlights on. I can tell because my things will be glowing. I'll have to write something different for that so that it picks that and not the things attached to it. Yeah, I really like... I'm a fan of this, man. And y'all seen me make it, okay? It was the first thing I've ever shown me make from zero to this on the front suspension piece there. I'm a fan of it, I think. It doesn't annoy me. I K-forged the shit out of that. And I like that. The Zambone has arrived, bro. And until next time, all right, I'm going to say adios on this one. You know, I'm not sure if people are going to watch this kind of content or whatever or not, but I'm definitely sharing this video because I will watch it in the future at some point, I'm sure. To be like, yo, what was that first four-wheeler I made? The Zambone? And I put out there. This thing, I did a lot of customization things to this thing all over the place. Even made this functional. So I figure you would put something in here. So this little lid will open up and you can put like something in. I don't know what yet, bro, but you can put something. I could just put a battery in there and have it where it has an alternator and you can run the battery down on this thing. Cause I didn't right now I would have to go back into Blender and separate the seat because this is all one piece now. I don't know if there's even any room. I'd have to make some room probably. Yeah, I could though. Not bad. Decent, man. Riding as a passenger can cause the ATV to go out of control. Loss of control can cause a collision or rollover, which can result in severe injury or death. Never ride as a passenger. Hmm. And then this side, you know, I had to do something. Always wear a helmet. This vehicle is not for street use. Always follow the law. But if being chased by zombies, run like hell safely. Do not consume illegal substances while controlling this vehicle. Yeah, man. You don't get to see that warning label every day. Yet. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, until next time, adios.